Ic13 Encyclopedia. This is Dealing with Disease under New Management, guided by the forces of the universe, your sacred counsel. Discover the secrets of the universe, which reveals an assembly or circle of 32 laws of universe and nature, or better said, the guiding forces of universe and nature, such as duality, time, change, attraction, cause and effect, order, place and function, and many more. We are all looking for change, struggling in so many ways and aspects of our life. We may have an advisor, a healthcare practitioner, a nutritionist, personal trainer, or even a lifestyle coach. But we don't have access to them all day long. So enter the circle of vital and aware living and meet the Sacred Council, your personal lifestyle and awareness coaching team, always ready to assist you in every moment and in any circumstance. We are like visitors in a foreign country without knowing the laws and how everything functions in that world. We know a lot about the things of the modern world, but know little about the basics of life. See how they assist us with every step we make and with every breath we take, and make them practical in your daily life in dealing with your real self, your soul, your mind and your thoughts, your body, words and communication, nutrition, fitness, your life partner, children, the teenage years, getting older, stress, weight, disease, emotions, business, destructive habits, preserving the planet, studying, and friendships. For more detailed information on each of the guiding forces, see the intro booklet. There are endless words that can be connected to any subject, and each subject can have many books because each subject can be approached from various perspectives or angles. Most important, however, is not to forget that all that is said or written is merely an opinion, a truth, and not the truth. Because the spoken and written word is part of the creative world created in opposites, constantly changing and bound to time, and there is always more that can be said or written about any subject. Regarding me and the Sacred Council members talking about any subject, know that this understanding applies to that information as well. The information is formed from their particular point of view and brought to you through the world of visionary and mystical fiction. Hopefully, it contributes to your life and assists you to experience life in a more conscious, mystical, and magical way. By hearing or reading this information, you will come to the conclusion that you know this already, and you do, because this is part of your universal and spiritual inheritance. And often, we just need one word or a sentence that inspires and motivates us to do things differently or to think about a certain subject from a different perspective. The guiding force of the Creator. Make God a reality in your life. In regards to dealing with disease, so much is talked about the loss of short memory being called Alzheimer and amnesia, but in a sense, you all have this, as you constantly forget who you really are, and you forget about the Creator. Look at the endless diseases you create, and then how you deal with it. Do you realize that the essence of each disease is as well God, the life force, or any other name given to that eternal life? Otherwise it could not exist. Each virus and each bacteria, yes, even cancer, each cell. You can approach the disease, the body, its disease parts, cells and systems from this point of view. The essence of life is in every cell, system, and part of your body. Quote, "It is only by forgetting yourself that you draw nearer to God. Henry David Thoreau. End of quote. Look beyond disease, the labels, and look beyond you, the body, and the one who will receive the name. Look at every cell of your body being an eternal child of light and accept them all equally, and give extra love to those cells that are not well. It is your family. The guiding force of the universal teacher. Master or be mastered. In regards to dealing with disease, you either become a master in trying to live healthy and a master in dealing with disease, or disease will master you. Your emptiness being the cause of not being in constant contact with God the Creator makes you fill up with the things of the world, which all end up in dis-ease and disease. So when you're not at ease, you will have disease. The original of all your pains is coming forth from you being separated from your true essence, the soul and God. So it is important to connect with your real self, the soul, and to be with God, the Creator, through silent and inner prayer. So love your loneliness and be alone, because you came and will go alone. All man's miseries derive from not being able to sit quiet in a room alone. Blaise Pascal. End of quote. To keep the body as healthy as possible is very important because it is the vehicle in which you start the journey to discover who you really are and the journey to go back to your original home. It is for that reason that you need to really study in depth to what is good for the body and to know as much as possible what to do when confronted with signs, symptoms, and disease. The guiding force of the power of the mind. Know the tricks of your mind. In regards to dealing with disease, know that the biggest disease is the mind itself when ruled by the sense organs and not by the soul and its creator. The mind under the rule of your weaknesses, the sense organs, keeps you shopping within itself for the things of the world. You pay for this by living in separation from your real self, the soul, and your creator, but you pay even more through sickness and disease, which is the result of you shopping for the negative and unhealthy things. Quote, every human being is the author of his own health or disease. Buddha. End of quote. To be less confronted with signs, symptoms, and disease, start shopping for more positive and healthy things. In order to deal better when you are confronted with disease, accept the fact that you created it. In order to deal better with those confrontations, and do not blame it on somebody or something. The condition, signs, symptoms, and disease of the physical body is the expression of all the things you do incorrectly, external and inside your mind. The body never lies, but the mind cannot be trusted until it is managed by the soul. To get rid of the mind, which is a disease for the soul, so to speak, you must master the mind, and for that you will need a master who has done this and who can give you the proper instructions. The guiding force of the true disciple. Follow the master and the teachings. In regards to dealing with disease, you either follow the dictates of your mind, the sense organs and negative passions, or you follow a different path. When you follow unhealthy patterns, your organs and cell children are following in the same way, and they will cry until being taken care of in a different way. Especially when confronted with disease, you get tested because you can follow the path of love or the path of fear. When you could look at everything that happens as something that brings you closer to God, you will be carried. But when you fall into fear, you are completely on your own. Quote, The wise man in the storm prays to God, not for safety from danger, but deliverance from fear. Ralph Waldo Emerson. End of quote. The guiding force of your inner hero. Be the hero of your own life adventure. In regards to dealing with disease, know that a hero doesn't complain, but does everything possible to find ways to help him or herself in pain and sickness. Doesn't just stay only dependent on the help of others, and doesn't fall into the role of the victim. Quote, "It is not enough to do your best. You must know what to do and then do your best." W. Edward Deming. End of quote. The guiding force of maturity and wisdom. Learn from the wise elders and nature. In regards to dealing with disease, know that most of you are or will be confronted with disease, and you do not have to ask why. Just look at what you do to yourself, the negative thoughts you have, the unhealthy foods you eat, the artificial conditions around you, the lack of proper sleep, and look at what you do to your environment, which affects you in return. Quote, "Sickness is the vengeance of nature for the violations of their laws." Charles Simmons. End of quote. Going through disease, which is also an adventure, can be seen as gathering information and to possibly assist others. Otherwise, there is very little purpose going through that disease. All diseases are within you and possibly triggered by external events coming to the surface. Healing from the outside is a great help, but the real healing needs to start from within, for there it took seed. Quote, "To heal from the inside out is the key." Winona Judd. End of quote. Look how animals take care of themselves when they are sick, and start eating from nature in its purest form. This is real medicine. The guiding force of fantasy and magic. Live your life as a magical adventure. In regards to dealing with disease, do you realize that magic and miracles are natural phenomena if you believe in them or not? It's already a miracle that most of you are still alive, seeing what you do to this body. There are many diseases that have disappeared like magic and not explainable. Why does everything needs to be explainable? Why can the magic and miracles not be accepted as a natural part of life? Quote, "This world, after all our science and sciences, is still a miracle, wonderful, inscrutable, magical, and more, to whosoever will think of it." Thomas Dekker. End of quote. The guiding force of translating messages. Decipher the symbolic meaning of messages. In regards to dealing with disease, do you realize that each sign, symptom, and disease is an imbalance inside the body, a cry of a cell, a group of cells, making up a body part, an organ or system sending out a message? In addition to the healthcare practitioner helping you, there is also work for you. There is also work for you. Do you participate in the healing, or do you just put others in charge? Quote, "The more help a person has in his garden, the less it belongs to him." William H. Davis. End of quote. Accept the message and try to decode it by connecting to the area the imbalance expresses itself. Then ask yourself, what is the purpose of that body part, organ, or system? Never forget that you are not a victim of anything or anybody. As there are numerous ways to create imbalances, there are numerous ways to recreate balance. There are endless factors that contributed to any imbalances, and for that reason, you have endless ways that you can start your own healing process. Quote, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming it. Helen Keller. End of quote. Realize that the greatest healing power is within you, and also use these powers to change your entire lifestyle. The lifestyle you lead brought the imbalance, and for that reason you need a different lifestyle, for the old one will bring the message back again. See the healing as an adventure that will change your life, a life that was already due to change. Quote, opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life seems most challenging. Joseph Campbell. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of solids and earth. Feel connected and keep on experiencing new. In regards to dealing with disease, welcome the time to hibernate and rejuvenate and assist the body in its cleaning and healing process. Do not just let others control your life, but assist yourself and participate in your own healing process. Assist your body in the most natural ways with the most natural therapies, but stay open for other methods as well. Realize that when something cannot be rejuvenated itself anymore, that it maybe has to be recycled or be removed. The courage to live life fully will also be the courage to get through this stage of life. When you lost your connection and foundation with life before you got sick, maybe the sickness will connect you again and give you that new foundation. You can easily misuse power, but tuning into the power of healing is for a good purpose. Finally, a time for reflection, as you need to step out of the race, rest and rethink what is important. Quote, obey this kind goeth, not out but by prayer and fasting. Matthew 17:21. End of quote. You think that you can control a lot, but when you get confronted with your weak spot, see how little control you actually have. You live your physical life as if it would never end, and times of disease may put things in perspective. It is not for you to carry even your own pains, just as it is not for you to carry anybody or anything, but you only need to assist yourself in and through this healing process. Quote, much of your pain is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals yourself, your sick self. Kahlil Gibran. End of quote. Times of disease is a time for the body to clean itself on many levels. Waste and excessive weight and crystallizations you all do not need. No matter how sick you are, keep those parts that you can move in motion, as the body is designed to move in order to proper function. The guiding force of the energy of liquids and water. Go with the flow and in moderation. In regards to dealing with disease, stay aware that life is a play, a game. The healing process of your body is also part of that game, and most likely where not one player moves in straight lines and scores. Be flexible and maneuverable during the process. You may have to become very creative to work around the restrictions that your body gives you. Be creative in your choices you make to assist your body, as one remedy may not always work. You have to create your own healing assisting package that will be different in every situation. When you learn to have the commitment to live life fully and accept the duality of its nature, you can also start to have the commitment to your self-healing process. Without commitment, there is no cooperation, and there will be no positive relationship between your body and mind. And again, any commitment requires flexibility. It is a time to boost the immune system with easy absorbent food concentrates in powder or liquid form. Try to stay limber, especially when bedridden, through stretches and mobilization exercises. Quote, learn to adjust yourself to the conditions you have to endure, but make a point of trying to alter or correct conditions so that they are most favorable to you. William Frederick. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of heat and fire. Pace yourself in order to digest. In regards to dealing with disease, know that when you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, do not fall into anger, because your cells will feel accused and already abused, and they most likely will go into a dormant state just like a child reacts to anger. Realize that when you fall into fear with your situation, you limit the unlimited healing powers and possibilities of the universe. Quote, the art of medicine consists of amusing the patient, while nature cures the disease. Voltaire. As it takes many actions to create any imbalance, there are just as many possibilities to re-establish that balance. It is time to take a break and rest. It is time to re-evaluate what you are doing to yourself. Watch out for forcing and pushing yourself out of the situation, for is it not clear that your cells are asking for attention? Quote, we achieve inner health only through forgiveness. The forgiveness not only of others, but also of ourselves. Joshua Lott Liebman. End of quote. Instead of the end result in being free of the imbalance, let's live the moment-to-moment process of your healing, which is, like anything else, a very important part of your life experience. Instead of being harsh, you can be gentler in your ways of handling the situation, which all will contribute to the healing process. The guiding force of the energy of gases and air. Embrace, endure, and love it all. In regards to dealing with disease, know that when you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, do not lose heart or getting too hard on yourself, but rather come from love of the heart and start taking better care of yourself. Quote, the most important thing in illness is never to lose heart. Nikolai Linen. End of quote. Let's realize that when you do not embrace the situation, you reject your cell children who ask for your attention and care. As it takes mostly a long time to slowly get your body sick, let's also have the endurance to swing things around. When you feel pain, keep constantly breathing out that pain and focus on the pain area. Quote, you must embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey. Kenyu Miyazawa. End of quote. As soon as the body allows you, start moving, for the body needs to activate the circulation and we need the oxygen to heal the body. When you cannot get out of your bed, do at least your breathing exercises. The guiding force of ether connected to audible sounds and verbal communication. Realize that everything you hear and say is just an opinion. In regards to dealing with disease, know that when you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, do not speak with harsh words to the area and discomfort. All living cells are listening to you as their parents. Quote, Nature has given us 2 ears, 2 eyes, and but one tongue, to the end that we should hear and see more than we speak. Socrates. End of quote. When you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, let's understand that the body part, systems, organs, and cells are trying to communicate with you. They are asking for attention and help. Quote, solitude is such a potential thing. We hear voices in solitude we never hear in the hurry and turmoil of life. We receive counsel and comforts we get under no other condition. Amelia Ebar. End of quote. Never forget anymore that your cells are listening. They are going to hear the complaining, the threats, the fears, the anger, the confusion, or the love, compassion, and kindness. The guiding force of ether, connected to the conditioned mind, associations, and non-audible communication. Stay aware of your limited and conditioned realities. In regards to dealing with disease, know that when you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, to send positive thoughts to that area of discomfort. All are living cells, listening to you as their parents. This is all about associating and a negative association that will bring a negative result. When you are confronted with signs, symptoms, and/or disease patterns, let understand that the body parts and systems, organs and cells are trying to communicate with you. They are asking for your attention and help. Be careful what you think about the body parts affected, because they are living cells listening to what you have to say and how you approach them. Search for different ways to assist yourself during the healing adventure. Go to other practitioners, go on the net and go for seminars. There is so much available than the things you are just familiar with. When you feel pain, get in touch and either go with your physical hands there or visualize your hands giving that area comfort. Stay aware that disease and how you think about it is one way and that there are endless other realities to connect with. Realities right within your own mind, ways of healing from within and from the outside. Quote, when one door closes, another opens, but we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the other one has opened for us. Alexander Graham Bell. The guiding force of ether, connected to the universal mind, higher virtues, and soul communication. Observe yourself. In regards to dealing with disease, know that when you are confronted with disease, to be careful to not worship the disease by letting your thought only dwell on it. Realize that by doing this, you are giving the disease more and more power, and that you are actually worshiping it. It is the same by giving power to healthcare practitioners, methods, and medication. They are all a means to an end. Healing takes place when it is meant to be, and for that reason do not worship healthcare practitioners, methods, and products. Signs, symptoms, and diseases are like opportunities to assist you in the book of your life. Treasures revealing a magical roadmap to harmonious living. A journey to discover an ancient universal language. Wake-up calls from the depths of your soul. Cries from the level of your cells. Gateways to conscious living. Elements of a re-education program. Gifts to help you evolve from being victims to being heroes. Opportunities to look at life from a different perspective. And when gone through with understanding, a help for others maybe having to deal with something similar. Quote, The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Galatians 5:22. The guiding force of duality. Accept and deal with the duality in everything and everybody. In regards to dealing with disease, realize that there is always at least one healing assisting method for any disease, for there are many actually, but it is just a matter of doing your homework and research. It is also realizing that the harder times in your life shaped and formed you. It is not about wiping a disease out from the surface of the planet, but understanding how we create them and how we are going to deal with them while going through the healing adventure. Quote, God created suffering and heartache so that joy might be revealed by its opposite. Rumi. End of quote. The guiding force of time. Learn to live in the moment. In regards to dealing with disease, are you giving enough time to rest and rejuvenate? Confronted with disease, is the time to give the body the time to rejuvenate? Some things may clear instantly and others may demand a lot of time. Quote, time heals what season cannot. Seneca. End of quote. The guiding force of change. Learn to go with the ever-changing adventure. In regards to dealing with disease, are you realizing that many diseases can be connected to the stagnancy of life, the way you think, eat, and act? This is the time to make some real changes. Something is good to make a change in strategy. Sometimes it is good to make a change in strategy. Sometimes things change instantly, and sometimes it is too late to change things around, and surgery needs to come in the game. Quote, without accepting the fact that everything changes, we cannot find perfect composure. But unfortunately, although it is true, it is difficult for us to accept it. Because we cannot accept the truth of transience, we suffer. Shinichi Suzuki. End of quote. The guiding force of cycles. Tune into the natural cycles of life. In regards to dealing with disease, are you taking medication to suppress the natural functioning cycles of the body? Are you giving enough time to rest and rejuvenate? For this part of the cycle in your self-healing is very important. Why being so eager to get back to the life that caused you to become sick? Tune in this cleansing cycle of your life and start thinking of a new beginning and a new cycle of life. Quote, the world of achievement has always belonged to the optimist. Harold Wilson. The guiding force of balance. It is nature's duty to recreate balance. In regards to dealing with disease, do you realize that times of disease are needed to recreate balance? Confronted with disease is a sign that things are completely out of balance. Unfortunately, most of you do not welcome this important message and rather go at war with the disease. How on earth can you regain balance with your own living cells, your cell children, by attacking them? They need your love and care. You are the one who created the imbalance, not them. And most likely you have to work on the balance of your life in all aspects. Achieving balance by just undergoing an operation, taking a tablet, eating for a while differently, or going to do some fitness exercises is not possible, for it will not outweigh the negative side you have created. A complete change of lifestyle is required. Quote, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Mahatma Gandhi. End of quote. The guiding force of necessities. Simplicity is the key. In regards to dealing with disease, are you finally getting back to the basics? Confronted with disease helps you to hopefully appreciate the simple things of life again and to get back to the simple needs of your body. Quote, no matter where we claim that pain comes from, how many of us consider drinking pure water as a form of pain treatment? Nina Snipper. End of quote. The guiding force of wholeness. No need to go more into separation. In regards to dealing with disease, are you just treating the sign and symptoms? Everything in the body-mind unit is connected. And in addition, to focus on the so-called disease part, the entire body, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, needs to be looked after. Signs, symptoms, and disease are not separate items, but a part of you that are in need to be treated as a whole. Quote, there are no extra pieces in the universe. Everyone is here because he or she has a place to fill, and every piece must fit itself into the big jigsaw puzzle. Deepak Chopra. End of quote. The guiding force of comprehension. There is always more than you can see or comprehend. In regards to dealing with disease, are you trying to pinpoint exactly why diseases surface? Use your intellect and any method to figure things out, but realize that there is an endless history before any event. It is for this reason that it is best to address any imbalance from multiple angles, not to approach individuals as cattle, and looking at the healing process as an individual adventure with experiments and experiences without any expectation. Quote, logic, the art of thinking and reasoning, is strict accordance with the limitations and incapacities of the human misunderstanding. Ambrose Bierce. End of quote. The guiding force of improvement and perfection. There is always room for improvement. In regards to dealing with disease, realize that there is no perfect solution for any disease. Confronted with disease is a sign that you need to improve life in all its aspects and that you are in need of a different adventure. It is your duty to keep this mortal body in which your soul resides as healthy as possible. Quote, do you not know that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? Corinthians 3:16. End of quote. The guiding force of order, place, and function. Everything is part of an order and has a function and place. In regards to dealing with disease, realize that times of disease is needed in order to recreate a new order so everything can function better. Confronted with disease is a sign that things are out of order and not functioning well, and most likely connected to all aspects of your life. Just look what you do to yourself and realize why there is so much disease, and when you cannot figure it out, just accept your place right now. Stop complaining, do your best, and leave the results for the future. This time of your life is part of your adventure, and not a part which doesn't belong there. Everything has a reason and purpose. Quote, consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, that you may perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. James 1:2/4. End of quote. There is also no need to judge any kind of self and healthcare system or healthcare practitioner. Everybody and everything has its place in the wheel of life. Everything that happens and everybody you need to meet has a place, function, order, and purpose. The guiding force of cause and effect. Every action has not just one reaction, but causes a chain reaction and creates a reality you have to deal with. In regards to dealing with disease, do you believe in limited solutions for curing diseases? Then that will be your reality. Any disease is a reaction from many actions in the past, and there are endless ways to assist the healing process. It is just stepping into that reality and going the adventure. Another approach is to see any disease as a message that needs to be accepted, translated, and given a plan of action. Quote, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it." Albert Einstein. End of quote. The guiding force of contraction and expansion. Quality or quantity? In regards to dealing with disease, do you really realize that disease is just a defense mechanism of the body contracting and bringing you the message of pain? You all have expanded in so many areas of your life, and you still complain. You have more than you need. You work too much. You eat too much. And things that are not gentle to your body. Know this, and the bucket of toxicity is filled up, and you still wonder why there is so much sickness. Cleaning and simplifying life in all its aspects is a must to really change things with long-term benefits. Be thankful for the message so you can start looking at life and living it differently, and possibly with and in quality. Quote, "We must embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey." Kenji Mizawa. End of quote. The guiding force of repetition. Using the ability to repeat for the right reason and purpose. In regards to dealing with disease, are you still wanting your old life back? The one that brought you disease? The way you thought, ate, acted, and reacted, is that what brought you where you are today? Why do you want to repeat the same mistakes again? It makes much more sense to start repeating different and more positive things. Quote, "Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results." Albert Einstein. The guiding force of reflections. All your experiences are a reflection from within yourself. In regards to dealing with disease, do you realize that any disease is also a reflection of your mind? Disease is a reflection of what you think, eat, and do. It is not just about a treatment, a change of food, and doing some exercises. When you really want to get out of the realm of disease, and when you want to reflect health and vitality, it requires a complete approach in all aspects of your life, a lifestyle transformation. Why do you want to return to your old lifestyle which contributed to your disease? An old reflection and an old mirror. How long and how intense do you want that disease keeps knocking at your door? Are you still looking for the easy way out and hoping that you get the fortune of great health? Do not give your power away to others taking care of you. Quote, "A problem cannot be solved with the same consciousness that created it." Albert Einstein. End of quote. The guiding force of rhythm and vibrations. Realize that what you are, you will attract or repel. In regards to dealing with disease, do you know that any disease has its own rhythm and vibration, totally unique and individual, and is connected to the sum total of all experiences of an individual? Know that each experience of thought, word, food and habit, emotion, action and reaction also has its individual rhythm and vibration. When you really want to change the course of the disease, you cannot just address the disease, but you need to address your entire being, meaning the sum total of all life experiences. When you realize that the life you led played a great part of causing the disease, why wanting to get that life back again? Why not wanting a different one? Try at least to change as much as possible, and possibly the course of the disease will change. You do not need to feel really dependent on any healthcare promise, or when it is said that there is no cure for you, go definitely the adventure, changing your life in all aspects. Quote, liberty means responsibility. That's why most men dread it. George Bernard Shaw. End of quote. The guiding force of service. Learn to serve and care. In regards to dealing with disease, are you serving your body with health, kindness, and rest? Confronted with disease is the time to serve the body with love and health and kindness and rest without any expectation, but out of respect for its real owner. When you look at all the unhealthy service you have given your body, ranging from your thoughts, the foods you ate, the abuse you gave it by not giving the body proper rest and stressing it out to the max, is it strange that your body starts screaming like abused children, behaving in a strange manner? Every cell of your body deserves your love, and even more when they do not feel well. Your body doesn't need more abuse by drugging it out, nor by getting angry at it. It really deserves your love. Quote, kind hearts are the gardens, kind thoughts are the roots, kind words are the flowers, kind deeds are the fruits. Take care of your garden and keep out the weeds. Fill it with sunshine, kind words, and kind deeds. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. End of quote. The guiding force of individuality. There is no need for comparing and competing. In regards to dealing with disease, know that it is not a game of comparing yourself with others, nor it is a competition. Each disease for each person is totally individual and unique, and each disease, virus, bacteria is totally individual and unique and affecting each individual differently. In the medical world, they may put the disease under a label, but know that the cause and healing is totally an individual, unique adventure. Look deeper and see what you have done and are still doing to yourself to be in this situation. Quote, it takes a very strong individual to sit with themselves, calm their storms, and heal all their issues without trying to bring someone else into that chaos. Your journey into self-love is just that. End of quote.